He killed his grandma. Story time. I used to date a boy who was really into pranking people. And normally his pranks were stupid, like putting hot sauce in a ketchup bottle or rearranging the kitchen cabinet so his mom would be confused. But the one thing he loved to do is scare people. I mean, he would even go so far to scare his dog. So as you can imagine, nobody in his house was safe. So one day I was over his house and it was just me, him, and his grandmother who happened to live with him at the time. She was the sweetest thing too. Just imagine the tiniest, sweetest, cutest old frail lady you can think of who was always baking cookies and cupcakes. That was her. Unfortunately, she was not safe from the pranks either. So me and her were sitting in the kitchen and she was telling me about a new cupcake recipe that she just learned, and she was excited because she wanted me to try it. Well, as she's telling me about this cupcake recipe that she's excited about, the boy that I was dating comes out of nowhere, gets behind her, and screams at the back of her head. He spooked this poor old woman so bad that she freezes for a second, grabs her chest, and then collapses to the ground. I'm terrified, so I run over to her and I'm trying to help her up, but she's struggling to breathe and she's still holding her chest, so I don't know if she's having a heart attack, a seizure, whatever. I turn to him and I'm like, you need to call the police because I think your grandmother is dying. Instantly, this boy starts to apologize and he's like, I'm so sorry, grandmother, what did I do? I'm so sorry. He starts fumbling for his phone. He finally gets it out. And he was like, what do I tell the police? And I was like, I don't know. Maybe that your grandmother is dying on your kitchen floor. Like, I don't know. And this whole time, his grandmother is still lying on the floor, holding her chest and wheezing. It was so dramatic. And I'm thinking this boy is about to go to jail for killing his grandmother accidentally. But before he could even push the call button, his grandmother starts cracking up. And I'm confused. He's confused. We're looking at her like, what's going on? This sweet old lady was pranking him back. I guess she was just tired of him pranking her, so she decided to get him back, and it worked because she got me too. I mean, I was nervous, and I was sweating like,
The 16-year-old girls that brutally unalived their best friend because they didn't like her anymore. Skylar Neese may have been an only child, but she had a sister-like bond with her best friend Sheila. The girls were like two peas in a pod and did everything together. Their freshman year of high school, they added a third best friend, Rachel, making them an inseparable trio. Like most friend groups in high school, there was some jealousy, like if two of the friends hung out and didn't invite the third, stuff like that. And that's how Skylar was feeling going into their sophomore year of high school. Like Sheila and Rachel were getting closer and kind of kicking Skylar out. Then in the middle of the night on July 6, 2012, Skylar snuck out of her house and never came home. Skylar was missing. Her parents are panicked. Her best friends Sheila and Rachel are acting concerned as well. Sheila would spend a lot of time with Skylar's parents, supporting them, crying with them, asking for updates, and asking if there was anything she could do to help. And the longer that Skylar was missing, the more that rumors started to spread. From things like Skylar ran off with a boyfriend, to Skylar fled after robbing a bank, to Skylar's best friends Sheila and Rachel were involved. At this point, the investigators were actually pretty convinced that Sheila and Rachel knew more than they were letting on. Both of the girls' stories were like nearly identical, like they had been rehearsed. At this point, the police's theory was that the three girls snuck out of the house to maybe use substances and something accidentally happened to Skylar, and Sheila and Rachel were just covering it up because they were scared of getting in trouble. They could have never prepared for what actually happened. Following Skylar's disappearance, Sheila was like pretty carefree, but Rachel, on the other hand, was having a nervous breakdown and had to be admitted to a psychiatric facility. And upon release, Rachel confessed that her and Sheila had stabbed Skylar 50 times and had planned the attack for months. And even more shocking was their motive, that they didn't like her anymore and didn't want to be friends with her. To this day, Sheila has never shown any remorse to what she did to her best friend and is seen as the evil ringleader and was sentenced to life in prison. Due to Rachel's confession, she was sentenced to 30 years in prison. She was up for parole very recently, but it was denied. But I'm really curious to hear what you guys think. Do you really think that two 16-year-old girls would brutally unalive their best friend just because they didn't want to be friends with her anymore? I feel like there has to be more to this story.
Get ready with me for school story time on how I fought my teacher. First of all, this girl always had a problem with me. Like, I wouldn't even be talking to her. She always looking at me funny. She would always tell me to be quiet when there's like 20 other kids talking. But let me tell you actually like how it started. Basically, I asked her like twice if I could use the bathroom, and she said once you're done doing your work. So I'm done doing my work, and I asked again, I'm like, can I use the bathroom? And she says, no, you can wait like 20 minutes. So I wait the 20 minutes. And then I ask again once the 20 minutes are up because like I'm counting the minutes in my head. I'm looking at the clock. She tells me, she's like, girl, can you stop asking? She didn't say girl, but she said, can you stop asking? You know, I had to put my little lingo on it. And then I'm like, what do you mean stop asking? You said I could go once I'm done with my work. And then you said I had to wait 20 minutes. Can I go to the bathroom? And then she was like, I just told you you're going to have to wait, so go sit back down, and da-da-da, you're disturbing the class, and all that. Then I'm just like, okay. Like, then I just go sit back down, because, girl, you're getting on my nerves, and I need to sicken and decompress. And then somebody else asks, and she lets them go. So then I rise up, and I'm like, can I go after them? And she's like, didn't I just tell you have to wait? And then I'm like, well, I didn't have to wait. Like, I could have went to the bathroom and came back by now, but you won't let me. And now someone else has to go. And of course, it's the girl that I don't like. So she's going to take an extra 20 minutes just to use the bathroom. It's just getting weird. Like, you could have just let me use the bathroom, then I could have been back, and you could have kept yapping with your math session. Like, it didn't really have to be all this. So then 20 minutes, like for real, 20 minutes. Like, I looked at the clock, I checked it, 20 minutes go by. And then the girl finally comes back, and then I'm like, can I use the bathroom now? And then she's like, go ahead. And I'm like, thank you. Like, finally, girl. Like, was it that hard? And then I take just as long as the other girl did because I'm trying to see if she tried to say something to me again. So then I knock on the door, they open it up, and I walk back in the classroom. And as soon as I get in there, she's like, what took you so long? But anyways, I'm yelling at her. I'm like, girl, that girl took longer than me, and you still have a problem with how long I took in the bathroom? Girl, get off the pedals. Like, step off the bike. Please. Because that girl took just as long, y'all. Like, just as long. Like, it's getting to be really weird. Like, he took a minute, but now I'm just, like, yelling at the teacher because why are you on my neck? And then she's like, go to the principal's office. I'm like, no, I'm not going to the principal's office. And then I clock her right in her face. I didn't hit her. I mean, like, I'm talking, like, arguing with her. So then she, like, starts getting in my face. And I'm like, girl, get out of my face, da-da-da. And then she's like, I'm finna call the dean or security or whatever. And then I try to run out of the class, and she grabs my arm. And then I slap her. And then she hits me, and then I punch her, and then moral of the story, if a teacher is treating you unfair, y'all, tell someone, especially for a long time. Don't let it just sit, you know.